I mean, I feel like VTubing is just obviously the trends now, but I feel like if anything, if you want to start off streaming or something, or just you're a new content creator, then just by being a VTuber, you're more likely to get noticed than just by like being a normal on-camera streamer.
I definitely see the point that Garnt is trying to make here, but I agree that it's the new trend, it's the new hotness that everybody's piling into. I disagree that being a VTuber immediately makes it easier to stand out as a streamer, because I'm actively part of VTuber Twitter, and for all the 10 or 20 VTubers you do see make it semi-successful, there's like 1,000 that don't. And it's the same with Twitch streaming or YouTubing in general. You see a trend where there's a small handful of people succeeding at this one thing, but if you dive into it, there are so many people doing the exact same thing and completely failing. So even though it might be the trendy thing to do, it definitely doesn't lead to automatic success. I haven't achieved automatic success, and neither have any of my friends.
Is there a big male VTuber?
Even though there are definitely some like traditional VTubers like Merryweather or whatever that have achieved some level of success, I would argue that the biggest VTuber right now is probably Nux Taku. He was a PNG tuber before the term PNG tuber was even really a thing, and as soon as the VTubing scene hit, he was then given an opportunity to animate his PNG and become a VTuber, and since he had that pre-established face and is now a VTuber, and he's got like what, 1 million, 2 million subscribers, easily the biggest name in VTubing, even though for some reason people don't really talk about him in the VTuber space, even though that's literally what he is. He's just not a classic VTuber as we might think of it.
Well, like with VTubers, pretty much I think 90% of the big VTubers are female, right now at least.
Yeah, so, definitely. I mean, like,
I wonder why do you think that is? Like, just throwing ideas out there, like
waifus.
Yeah, I think literally waifus. Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Of course, it's waifus.
Is it maybe the fact that if you're you would just be a normal male streamer if you were good at it? Is there benefits to being a VTuber as a male over just showing your face if you can?
I don't know if there's a benefit to the audience per se, aside from just jumping on a trend, but I will say, as a male streamer, I wouldn't be streaming if it weren't for VTubing because of the anonymity. I don't want people to know what I look like. I don't want people to recognize me. So I don't know if it necessarily helps being a male streamer, whether I have the avatar or not. I don't think this matters much at all. I just do it because I don't want people to know who the fuck I am, dude.
Are you trying to be the sexy VTuber? Because I've seen those guys who are trying to be the sexy VTuber, and I cringe internally and a lot.
Because
they do that voice like, yeah, okay, I'm a male VTuber.
Yo, a lot of those sexy male VTubers have been called out on VTuber Twitter for sexually harassing women, and just the general theme of male VTubers using VTuber Twitter as if it were a dating app, it's actually kind of a problem that I see complained about all the time. I genuinely wish it would stop. I personally dislike lewd tubing in general. Like, I understand why there's a market for it, but God, it just opens up a wide array of possibilities for people to get annoyed with your behavior and call you out for sexual harassment. Even if you were just genuinely playing a bit, women that you're surrounded by could interpret it as harassment. So it's just, in my opinion, a terrible idea.
I'm older, right? When I see a guy who's using an anime avatar and he's doing this like edging voice where I'm like, bro, like literally just imagine a guy in his room in front of like a Dell monitor going, oh yeah, oh. Oh shit, man, that is hilarious. No comment, that's just funny. The type of personality that it would need to kill it as a male VTuber is also the kind of person who wouldn't give a fuck about showing their face.
Yeah, I disagree with that personally, just because I don't think, like, being a VTuber is just being a normal streamer with an avatar and no other difference. Whether or not you play into the anime aspect or the idol aspect or whatever is entirely up to you. Whether or not you have an avatar is just a cosmetic choice, and that's it. I don't think it has anything to do with personality whatsoever. It's just a choice on how you want to present yourself. So no, I completely disagree with that point, which is weird. I usually agree with Connor, except when it comes to snacks. His opinions on snacks are always wrong.
I feel like if anything, unlike being a female VTuber, being a male VTuber actually makes it harder for you to get noticed.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, which I've never really thought about that until now.
It's hard because I'm sure there's going to be tons of male VTubers out there who are like, you are totally wrong. But it's like, well, I think we come from a perspective of just general entertainment and YouTube and live streaming. And we have these kind of, I feel like we've been doing this for a very long time.
Yeah.
And we have we know what kind of personalities work in certain areas. So I'm not thinking about it. I feel like when you're in the community, you're almost too regurgitative of ideas around you. You know, you kind of you copy everything around you because that's what people do, right? You don't try and stand out. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
It's fascinating.
Because I love, it's so interesting. Because that's the thing is that I feel like no one's really figured it out yet, in English at least. I'm sure someone's going to comment and be like, no, but what about this guy? I'm like,
I am that comment. Literally Nuxtaku. How did you forget Nuxtaku?
Very difficult to get the right personality.
It's also difficult to like really nail down like a target demographic, especially if you're a guy, like because you do have so many avenues, unlike a lot of female VTubers where it's like your target demographic is very obvious.
I disagree. I think a female streamer or YouTuber of any variety has the opportunity to make it into just about any genre. I can't think of any one genre that is solely male dominated that women just don't participate in. Like consider Iron Mouse, Melody, and like Gargura. They have wildly different personalities and make very different types of content, but also saying that they're the only avenues also doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? I wholeheartedly disagree with this take, 100%.
That's how it always is.
This is what works, copy it. But then that's why I feel like it's not really going anywhere right now, just because everyone's just copying everyone who isn't seeing massive success.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
This is objectively true in all cases. I see way too much copy pasting in the VTuber community. Hell, half the time they even share the exact same assets. Like I see like Twitter posts where it's like, oh, here's a free public asset, and then like everyone uses that same identical asset, whether it be like the legs on the desk thing, or you know the hand holding up the like pregnancy sign or whatever. It's so generic, and when something becomes trendy, it becomes so widespread and everyone uses it, and no one has the capacity to think for themselves. Even on like Twitter, they have trends that just sort of float around, these memes that everybody does and nobody cares. Like the one that I keep seeing over and over again is, if this post gets a certain number of likes, I'll review something about myself. But you look at the questions and the questions are lame and nobody cares about the answers. Like look at the original post, it'll have like 30 likes. Look at their actual responses, 1 or 2 likes. Nobody actually gives a shit. People are just going out of their way to be trendy, and it doesn't work. Be original, goddammit. I say as a total hypocrite who has also jumped on these trends.
Yeah. Someone always has that one idea that just changes the system.
Yeah. But then eventually that original person will just set a trend, and then that trend will become the norm.
And then you build on that trend, and you keep building on that trend.
And then the new system is created.
I mean, that's just the evolution of content creation in general. I don't think that's specific to the VTuber community. That's general of YouTube and Twitch, broadly speaking. And well, I guess that was their final point, and holy shit, I recorded this in a vertical format because I was like gonna plan on doing this as a YouTube short and a TikTok upload, but holy shit, this ended up being way longer than I originally intended. So I guess it's just gonna be an awkward YouTube video in a vertical format, and I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of the Trash Taste guys so that the vertical format aligns with their fucking face, so I don't have to do that weird thing where it's like super zoomed out so you can fit a widescreen video in a vertical video, because that looks actually disgusting. This is gonna be so much work in the editing booth. Kill me!